Well, happy Friday, January 6th, and I hope you're having a great 2012 so far. I just wanted to touch base. I have a really great story to share with you today. I have been at the hospital, just left the hospital waiting room where I've been getting my CAT scan. And if you've ever had a CAT scan, you know that they give you this horrible, horrible tasting goo that you have to get down in like 2.5 seconds. And they put this really cute little banana on the front of it, like cartoon banana dancing, to deceive you that it's going to taste like banana when it really tastes like disgusting. And you have to drink it and gag it down and then wait 60 minutes. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that you have to wait 60 minutes in the waiting room. And while I was in the waiting room, there came in an older gentleman and his wife, and he was in a wheelchair, and you could tell that he was in a lot of pain, a lot of body pain, and he was waiting for a scan just like I was. And his wife was trying to console him, and he had a black cap on that said a Vietnam veteran. And I felt this huge pressing in my spirit to speak to him, to go and tell him thank you for his service to our country, and to ask him his story. But instead, I did what the typical person does. I looked at my iPhone, I checked email, I texted people. I thought I'll get around to talking to him before I go and get called for my CAT scan, but I just need to do this first. And I don't want to make him uncomfortable. Anyway, I justified everything in the book of reasons why I shouldn't talk to him, even though I clearly felt that God was telling me to talk to him. And wouldn't you know that 60 minutes passed quicker than I thought it would with my texting and looking down at my phone, as everyone else, 10 other people in the waiting room were doing, looking down at their phones or reading or doing something so they don't have to look at the other person in the room. And I went back, had my CAT scan, and I was all done, and I have every reason to walk out of the hospital and get the heck out of there, because I'm sick of being in the hospital, and I'm sick of everybody staring at my bald head, and I'm ready to go, and I want to go get lunch, and I haven't eaten all day, and I haven't had anything to drink, and it's now 11 o'clock, and I still haven't had anything to drink, but I see that the man and his wife are still sitting in the waiting room, and my body took over, my Holy Spirit took over. I walked in the waiting room, and I sat down next to that man, and I just said, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your life. Thank you for what you've done so that my children and I can live in a free country. I just stopped making it about me for one moment. And turns out, he inspired me. Turns out, it still wasn't about me. I wasn't there to inspire him. I wasn't there to make him feel better about himself. God wanted me to meet that man and to speak to that man so that I could be inspired. And if I would just lay down my dadgum iPhone for a minute, if we would all just lay down ourself in justification and realize that we are here to do life in relation to other people. Speak to those around you. Look into the eyes of those around you. Get uncomfortable for a minute. Get uncomfortable for a minute and watch God do something amazing in your life. Those people have been married for 40 years. He was in the Army for 20 years. He'd been to Vietnam for 3 different times. And now he's facing a terminal cancer diagnosis. And I wanted him to know that his life counted for something. His eyes filled with tears as I hugged him and told him that his life counted. And then my eyes filled with tears as he said the same thing back to me. Generations of difference, you know. He probably wouldn't like my tattoos. He probably wouldn't like some of the things I say. We don't do things like they did it. He doesn't have an iPhone or an iPad. And in that moment, we were the same. Just humans on this earth, trying to make our life count for something. And that rocked my world. But if I had left, if I had not surrendered to that moment, if I had not let God take the lead, even though it was uncomfortable and I was scared and I was embarrassed and I didn't know if it would make him uncomfortable and I had every reason to just leave, what would I have missed in that moment? I just encourage you today to understand that we are meant to do life with people. And don't pass by an opportunity to inspire someone or for you to be inspired today and tomorrow and the next day. They may not look like you. They may not believe in the same God as you believe in. They may not do things the way that you do things. But talk to them. Look at them. Smile at them. Show them Jesus through you. And guess what? Your life will change. Not them, you. When you show someone else Jesus, he shows himself to you. So I hope that's encouraging to you today. And for the record, I'm fine. I just got to meet an 80-year-old man who fought in the army and who married his wife after only 10 days of coming home, and they're madly in love after 40 years of marriage. So I have a lot to be grateful for because I got to meet them. And I got to see Jesus through them, and he changed me in that moment. Will you just drop your stuff today and speak to someone? Will you just drop your iPhone? Will you drop your iPad? Will you drop the book and all your to-dos and all your worries and all your lists and all your reasonings and all your justifications why you shouldn't just stop and take a minute and ask somebody their name and ask somebody their story? For 1 minute, make it not about you, and God will blow you away. Have a good weekend, guys. Love you all. Bye.